Hello and welcome to the 2022 IRONMAN 70.3 Taitung Athlete Briefing. Today we will be taking you through the athlete briefing developed by our local race director, Joe Lee. In this briefing we will cover the event schedule, weather forecast for the event weekend, athlete items, course reviews and post-race schedule. If you have not already done so, please read the Athlete Information Guide as there is information in there that we will not have time to cover in this briefing. Also, if you have any questions at the end, please feel free to ask those in the comments section or send a DM to the event team in Facebook. IRONMAN 70.3 Taitung will officially kick off on Friday, March 4th. We will only cover key schedule items now. For a more extensive event schedule, please visit the event schedule on the website or the Athlete Information Guide. On Friday, athlete check-in will be open from noon to 6 p.m. From 3 p.m. to 5 p.m, there will be a practice swim at Flowing Lake and athletes need to check in prior to swimming. In the evening, the welcome function will be at the Sheraton Taitung Hotel. On Saturday, athlete check-in will be from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is the last opportunity for athletes to check in. Mandatory bike check-in will be from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. All bikes must be dropped off in transition at this time, and there will be a transition tour and Q&A at the transition area at 2 p.m. This would be an opportunity to ask the race director any event questions in person. Sunday morning, transition will be open from 4:30 a.m. to 5:45 a.m. All athletes must clear the transition by 5:40 a.m. at the latest to be ready at the 6 a.m. rolling start. After the completion of the race, we will have bike checkout from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. IRONMAN 70.3 World Championship slot allocation at 4 p.m, followed by awards at 5 p.m. both in the expo area in Taitung Forest Park. The weather forecast for race weekend is calling for mid to high 20s and a low of 18 degrees on race morning, with possible rain both Saturday and Sunday. Please keep up to date on the weather forecast throughout the week as it is likely the expected conditions will change. Official water temperature and wetsuit decision will be made by event officials race morning and announced to the athletes. Expected conditions call for a water temperature of between 23.5 and 24.5 degrees, which would make this a wetsuit legal race, meaning athletes will have a choice to wear a wetsuit or not wear a wetsuit. Water conditions on Flowing Lake are expected to be calm and flat. When athletes check in at registration, please check your race kit to ensure you have the following items. Wristband, which is mandatory to wear at all times after check-in until you check your bike out post-race. 2 tattoo numbers to be applied to your left upper arm and left calf for race day. A race bib number to be worn only during the run. Bike seat post stickers. 2 helmet stickers to be placed on the front and left sides of your helmet. 3 bag stickers for your T1 bag, T2 bag and street gear bag. Bike pump sticker, swim cap. Red T1 bag, blue T2 bag and black street gear bag. Mandatory bike check-in will be from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the transition area next to Flowing Lake. Athletes are required to have their wristbands on, their seat post sticker attached to their bike, and their helmet with both helmet stickers attached to the front and left sides for helmet inspection. There is no bike check-in allowed race morning. All athletes must have their bikes in the transition by 6 p.m. on Saturday. On race morning, athletes will be allowed to access their bikes and drop their transition bags from 4:30 a.m. to 5:45 a.m. and then must proceed to the start area. Athletes should remember to bring their transition and streetwear bags, swim cap, wristband, timing chip, helmet and bike pump if needed. Other important items for each athlete to remember race morning include bike shoes, nutrition, and hydration. Timing chips will be distributed during bike check-in. If an athlete competes without their timing chip, there is no way to validate they completed the course and will show up as did not start or did not finish in the results. If at any point an athlete realizes they lost their timing chip, please notify event staff. We will have spare timing chips at the swim start, swim exit, and in transition. If an athlete drops out of the race, please return your timing chip to an event staff member, as it is important for safety purposes. We know that you are no longer competing in the race. Relay teams must have all 3 members check in at the same time at athlete check-in. Your timing chip will act as your relay baton. When exchanging the timing chip, athletes must do that from the relay exchange tent inside of transition. Relay members must wear their wristbands at all times. This is the only way to gain entry to the relay exchange tent or the post-race area. The bib number only needs to be worn by the run leg member. And all relay team members can finish the last straightaway together as long as they have their wristbands on. For both the swim to bike relay exchange and the bike to run relay exchange, the relay exchange tent will be located in the back corner of transition as signified by the green icon on the map. Bike and run leg relay members must report to this location. We will have bike mechanical services at multiple points throughout the event. In transition during bike check-in, pre-race morning access, and during T1. On course, there will be both mobile bike techs moving around and bike techs at both aid stations. Please be mindful that the mobile bike techs respond on a first come, first served basis, and this service may require significant wait times. Bike techs will assist athletes with repairs. There will be COVID-19 safety measures implemented at the event. Masks will be required to enter Taitung Forest Park. All visitors must come with their own masks, as masks will not be provided. Before entering the IRONMAN store and expo area, each person will need to wash their hands with the hand sanitizer provided at the checkpoint and continue to wear their mask. Athletes entering the check-in area will be required to have their temperature checked prior to checking in. Please be patient if you encounter lines, and we suggest you come early to give yourself extra time. You must, in the past 21 days, have not gone abroad or other places outside of Taiwan. Athletes and families must present a completion of the online health declaration form screenshot and scan 1922 messaging service QR code before entering the event venue. You must be at least 14 days after the first vaccination record. You must have proof of recovery, and you must have an at-home rapid antigen test or COVID-19 RT-PCR test report within 3 days prior to arrival. We will cover swim, bike and run courses as well as transition flow. 2 things to note related to the race. It is the athlete's responsibility to know and understand the 2021 IRONMAN rules and regulations. These are available at ironman.com, and it is the responsibility of the athletes to know and follow the course. The swim course is the same as previous years, a single lap 1.9 kilometre swim. There will be no opportunity for a swim warm-up prior to the race. Athletes will need to position themselves in the starting area based on their expected swim times. There will be flags labelled with the time ranges to help organise the fastest swimmers in front and the slowest swimmers in back. Once athletes are in the water, keep the yellow buoys on your left shoulder and turn left at the last yellow buoy. Athletes will then turn left at the first pink buoy and continue straight to the swim exit, keeping the pink buoys on their left shoulder at all times. Athletes can stop and rest by holding on to any of the buoys, swim line, boats, or other swim safety equipment, but any forward progress is prohibited and can result in a DQ. There will be no shower at the swim exit. If at any point during the swim you require assistance, please raise your arm and one of the swim safety staff will respond immediately. If there is a swim cancellation for whatever reason after the swim has started, you will hear horns and whistles blow continuously. Please follow the instructions of swim safety staff and exit the water. If you drop out before or during the race for safety reasons, it is important to return your timing chip to the dropout clerk at the info tent at transition, or return to any event staff member you can come in contact with. Upon completing the swim, you will exit the water up the stairs and follow the red carpet into transition to claim your bike and T1 transition bag. Once on the bike, athletes will first head north for a short distance towards A. You will then U-turn at that point to head south towards C, where you will then head north again to B and complete your first lap. As you U-turn south again to C. At C, you will U-turn for the final time. Head north, passing through B and continuing on into transition. There will be a marker every 10 kilometers on course. This is a closed course to traffic. However, as with all rides, please be vigilant and stay alert about what is happening around you, as traffic and scooters can find their way onto the course before being removed. As covered earlier, we will have one stationary bike mechanic at each aid station and two mobile bike mechanics on course. There will be 2 aid station locations for a total of 3 hits over 2 laps. At U-turn point B and C, we will have a SAG vehicle to transport athletes back to transition that cannot finish the race. If you need to drop out, these points are the easiest and fastest ways to get back to transition. There will be one penalty tent located in transition. If you receive a penalty during the bike, you will need to report to the penalty tent after racking your bike before continuing on to the run. As mentioned earlier, we will have 3 aid stations here. The first aid station location will be available at 28 and 68 kilometers, and the second aid station location will be available at 46 kilometers. As you approach the aid station, the order of items will be trash, water will be in the red bottle, isotonic will be in the yellow bottles, then food, isotonic, water, toilets, and then a last opportunity to discard trash. Please remember, trash can only be discarded at the aid stations. If done anywhere else on course, it can result in a disqualification. As with all Ironman events, this is a non-drafting event. Keep 12 metres between yourself and the athlete in front of you at all times. This distance is measured from front wheel to front wheel. Avoid riding next to another athlete or remaining in the passing lane after a completed pass, as this can result in a blocking penalty. A started pass must be completed within 25 seconds or you risk a penalty. And if you are overtaken by another athlete, it is your responsibility as the overtaken athlete to drop back 12 metres out of the draft zone. If you receive a penalty from any of the race officials during the bike leg, you must report to the yellow tent in transition before the run, or you will be disqualified. A yellow card is a 30 seconds penalty, blue card is 5 minutes, red card is disqualification. If an athlete receives 3 blue cards, that will result in a disqualification. Common penalties include drafting, blocking, illegal passing, and littering. Please be mindful and avoid risking a penalty on race day. This is very important. Please pay attention to the following process if you receive a penalty on the bike, as this is unique to other countries. Official will call out the athlete's number. Athlete will need to pull over to the side of the road and make a complete stop. Official will show you the penalty card. Official will mark the sticker on your helmet or seat post. Take a picture of the athlete. At this point, you have not served your penalty. You have only been issued the penalty. After the picture is taken, the athlete will return to the course. You must then report to the penalty tent, the yellow tent in the transition area, to serve the penalty before entering the run course. Extremely important to follow this process or you can be disqualified. When coming into transition from the bike course, please be aware of the sharp Z turn in the last 500 metres. Signage will be on course to notify athletes of the upcoming turn to slow down approaching this point and keep your speed under control all the way to the dismount line, as you will be on a slight descent. Once you dismount your bike, you will enter the transition area, rack your bike, use your T2 bag to change into your running gear and then continue out onto the run course. The 21.1 kilometre run is a 2-lap course. Athletes will follow the blue section out of transition and then connect with the red section, which is where the laps will begin. Athletes will follow the red section to point B, where they will receive a green lap band and continue on back into the park and start lap 2. Heading back towards point B, where they will receive a second green lap band before continuing back into the park and follow the purple section into the finish line. Please do not enter the finish straight away until you have 2 green lap bands on your arm. Once you have received your second lap band, you will make the final turn at the blue section and head towards the finish line. Please do not enter this point until you have received both green lap bands and completed your second lap. There are 6 aid station locations for a total of 11 hits. The product order will be trash bin, water, isotonic and cola, food, isotonic and cola, water, toilets, and the last opportunity for trash disposal. Please remember, trash can only be discarded at the aid stations. If done anywhere else on course, it can result in a disqualification. Once in the finish line, volunteers will meet you and direct you to medical if needed. Athletes will receive a finisher medal and towel, your timing chip will be returned, and then you will have access to the food, drink, massage and streetwear bags in the recovery area. Please be aware that only athletes are allowed in the finish line area. Any athlete that finishes with friends or family will be disqualified. As mentioned earlier, swim and bike relay members can join their runner in the last straightaway to finish the race. Cut-off times will be strictly enforced by the event team, and each athlete's time does not start until you cross the timing mat at the swim start. There is no advantage to starting in the front. All athletes have the same amount of time. If an athlete is not able to meet the cut-off times, they will show up as DNF in the results. All time of day cut-offs are approximate and are based on the last athlete entering the water at 6:30 a.m. These cut-offs can be moved forward or backwards based on how long it takes to get the last athlete into the water. The swim, you will have 1 hour and 10 minutes from your individual start time. There will be an intermediate cut-off at 0.95 kilometres at 7:05 a.m. If you have not reached this point by that time, swim safety will require you to get out of the water and they will return you to shore. Each athlete will have 5 hours and 30 minutes from their individual start time to complete the bike. There will be intermediate cut-offs at 46 kilometres at 9:57 a.m. and 70 kilometres at 10:48 a.m. Event staff will be at these points to notify athletes that they are DNF and will return them to transition. Each athlete will have 8 hours, 30 minutes from their individual start time to complete the race. There will be intermediate cut-offs on the run course at 18.6 kilometres at 2:40 p.m. Event staff will be at these points to notify athletes that they are a DNF and they will not be allowed to finish. The race director reserves the right to institute unannounced cut-offs as required. We do have medical teams across all legs of the race. Please reach out to them if you need assistance or see another athlete in need of assistance. There will be over 300 volunteers from the local community assisting with the race. Most of them only speak Chinese, so if you need to communicate with them, please be patient and they will help you with what you need. Slot allocation for the 2022 Ironman 70.3 World Championships will be held in the Expo area in Taitung Forest Park at 4 p.m. after the race. We will have 45 age group qualifying slots for the event in St. George, Utah, USA on October 28th and 29th, 2022. If you hope to earn a slot, please be on time for slot allocation. If you qualify for a slot and your name is called and you're not there to claim the slot is lost and will roll to the next athlete on the list, and there will be no opportunity to get it back. If you don't think you're fast enough to qualify, but still wish to go to the World Championships, definitely show up. There is always a chance you can earn a slot, as it is common for some slots to roll down from the top athletes in each age group. If you do take a slot, you will need a photo ID and be prepared to pay the $550 registration fee, plus taxes and 10% active fee at that time. Only Visa and MasterCard is accepted. Immediately following the slot allocation will be the awards at 5 p.m. The top 5 in each age group will receive an award. If you expect that you are in the award list but cannot make the award ceremony, please notify event staff so they can make arrangements to get your award to you. If you have any questions, please ask in the comment section below or feel free to DM the event team. Also, please remember, if you have not already done so, please read the athlete information guide. And that concludes our athlete briefing. Thank you all and good luck on race day.